Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Tanning with Tyler. So today we are out overnight for a budget gear camping trip. So everything you see me use today, I have paid $40 or under for, excluding the tent. You can't buy a tent for $40. But even this backpack, $40. Now, when I bought it, it was supposed to be a 60. There's no way this is a 60-liter backpack. Maybe a 50 at best. Regardless, it was $40. What do you want for $40? So yeah, we're gonna get out, we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna show you some of the stuff I brought along with me. Some of it might be a flop, others I think are actually gonna turn out pretty good. This is just to show you guys, you know, premium gear is awesome. I love premium gear, I own premium gear. But you don't need it to get out there and enjoy the outdoors. For most of us, you know, we can't go drop $800 on a tent, $300 on a sleeping pad. You know, we just have to work with what we have. Now that being said, you know, I do own premium gear, but that's stuff I purchased over a lifetime of camping. So if you're new to camping and you just want to get out there, go ahead and get out there with some inexpensive gear. There's tons of it around. I'll show you the stuff I got. So anyway, we are walking down an old abandoned logging road, and it has rained the past few days here, and a lot. Like, it is completely saturated out here. So we're gonna hike up and deke off the trail somewhere. We're almost to the end of this logging trail. Deke off, bushwhack a bit, and find a spot that looks kind of flat. So anyways, I better get moving. It's about 20 to 2, so get out, get set up, and yeah, have some fun. Oh, all right, guys. First things first. Ooh, I should have known that was gonna happen. I'm bumping around in there. Anyways, cheers everybody. Thanksgiving long weekend, super excited. Thanksgiving here in Canada anyway. Now, I'm only out for a night. I wish I could have done more, but you know, super busy this weekend. I got my car going in to get fixed. Tomorrow, family dinner Sunday, so you know, it is what it is. At least we could get out for a night. Anyway, yeah, you saw my pack. Now, I'm actually pretty surprised by this pack. So it's $40. Clearly, you're not expecting anything. Comes in a whole bunch of different colors. But so far, it's not too uncomfortable. Like, you could take this on a multi-day hike, I feel. Now, since it's $40, it doesn't have any kind of internal or external frame, but it will do the job. Surprisingly, I mean, I had this thing stuffed full, Zippers didn't pop. I know a lot of the complaints online where the zippers were always letting go, but so far so good. You know, it's got quite a few little compartments here and there. Big main compartment and a secondary. So, you know, I can keep all my, you know, sleeping gear and everything in here. And the front compartment's got my lanterns and everything. Anything I need for at camp. Yeah, it's really not a bad backpack. Yeah, so it says right there, 60 liters. I would say 50 at best. 50 at best. Yeah. So as long as you, with a backpack like this, put your softer gear against your back, like your sleeping bag, your clothes, even your tent, anything like that has give to it, and then pack all your harder items, fuel canisters, that sort of thing, in the front of the pack, it's pretty cozy. It's pretty comfy. There you have it, 40 bucks. That's one of the things that most people say are the hardest to buy for hiking. Now, if you're going to be spending $400 or $500 on the pack, yeah, you want to go in, you want to get fitted, all that stuff. Your local outing store will do that for you. But, you know, if you're on a budget and you just want to get out with a couple buddies or your family just for a couple overnight nights, something like this, there is nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Anyway, that's the pack. So if you are interested in any of this gear, I will leave a list down in the description box about how much I paid for it, and what it is. So yeah, not bad for $40. You can't buy anything for $40. You can't take you and your friend out to McDonald's for $40 these days. So I'm pleasantly surprised. I expected this thing to fall apart on the hike out here. So yeah, we'll take it as a win. You, if you look hard enough, can find a reasonable tent right around the $100 mark. So at the time that I bought this tent, it was on sale for $100. Normal retail price is $129. It is a OneTigris. I own a lot of their stuff. But it is very weather resistant. It is fairly light for what it is. You know, you're looking at, I'll pop a correction up on screen here, but I'm pretty sure this is right around 3.5 pounds, which isn't super light, but it's not super heavy either. It's a poleless tent, so it pitches with hiking poles. I don't have any with me today, so we're just gonna go cut a couple sticks down and set it up that way. But yeah, $100, not crazy bad. So, like I said, you don't have to go out and blow $400 or $500 on a tent. You know, Amazon has really changed the gear market for inexpensive gear. You know, back in the day when, you know, Amazon wasn't really a thing, you had to go to Canadian Tire, or, you know, you had to go to Mech or Sale or any of those places, Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, and pay for not great gear and pay a decent amount of money. There wasn't all the options that you have now. So camping on a budget has become so much easier with Amazon. Like I said, nothing here is over $40 except for the tent. And most of it was under 30. So yeah. Anyways, before I even pull out any more stuff, how about we get this tent set up just so it's done and you can see this tent. I do like it. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about it after I get it set up. Alright guys, I'm actually just out here looking for a couple poles, and I figured I'd show you one of my cheaper purchases. So we got a SOG folding saw. So this was $22. Not bad. Now, Silky seems to own the market. I've heard good things about SOG. I've never tried one, never used this saw. I got it in just for this trip. So It looks pretty good. It's got a nice coating on the blade to help with rust. It's actually got a pretty good lock on it. And it comes with a pretty nice little nylon sheath. So we're going to cut down some of this dead standing pole wood for our poles, and we'll see how this works. Actually, you know what? That's pretty nice. It locks closed as well, so you have to press the unlock button to open it. I like that, actually. That's something something I don't think Silky has. I could be wrong, though. Now, I'm actually impressed by how well that cut. It's super smooth. So unlike a Silky, this will cut on the pull and the push, whereas Silky is just a pull saw. For 22 bucks, that was impressive. Anyway, let's drag that back to camp and get this tent set up. There is some really nasty looking clouds coming in from the west, so we better get a shelter up, because I think we might be hiding in it in a little while. So what I like to do when I'm pitching, I better talk fast, when I'm pitching a tent with poles, wooden poles, is I'll always cut it a little higher, and then I'll put a little notch in for the paracord to go through so it locks it in place so it doesn't slide around. Super easy to do, and it makes a big difference. So not super hard to pitch, not fast by any means, but the benefit with this style of tent, and drawback too actually, is that it's a single wall, so it doesn't have a traditional fly that goes over top of some screening. Meaning that if it's pouring rain, you can pull this out and pitch it, and the inside will stay dry, which is a bonus. But at the same time, it doesn't allow the tent to breathe, and you get condensation buildup, which in turn makes inside of your tent wet. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It has some benefits, it has some cons, just like any shelter. But for $100, it's great. So this is the OneTigris Bungalow 2.0. I'm not sure how well you guys can see those clouds, but they are definitely dark. I threw up the awning, which is also the door, real quick without recording it, because I felt a couple drops there and figured we better get a move on. It is so windy. I'm sorry if the sound is really bad, but there's definitely something blowing in. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can hear that wind raging. It is blowing those black clouds this way. So we're going to tuck under this overhang, finish up that beer, and I'm going to show you guys a bit more of that gear I was talking about. So first on the docket, we have a fold-up Z-style sleeping mat. So now, this guy's got an R value of 2.2, which admittedly this time of year is getting a bit cool. 3 or 4 would definitely be a lot better. But this is what we're working with. So that guy, $35 off Amazon. So again, I mean, it adds some cush. It's 3/4 of an inch thick. It's definitely not as comfortable as a blow-up mat, which you're running around anywhere from $50 to $100 for a half decent one, $200 for the big brand. So $35, pretty good. It's not so much to add cushion, it's more to keep the cold from just seeping into your bones when you're laying on the ground. Now this is going to be super comfortable because we're kind of on moss and pine needles, which always makes the best bed to sleep on. Anyway, so we got that guy. This super cheap sleeping bag. This was also $30. If there's one thing you want to spend a bit more money on, it's usually a sleeping bag. It is so important to stay warm. You know, you can get a decent one for about $60. Since we're doing a budget trip, this one I bought months ago for $30. And because we're late in the season, it's definitely not warm enough. Even right here, I think it says the rating is 59 Fahrenheit comfort. So it's definitely meant for warmer weather. So what I've done is I have brought a $19 sleeping bag liner just to give me a bit of extra warmth tonight. And it should do the trick. Anyway, nothing special to the sleeping bags, just an envelope style, no hood. So meaning it's just rectangular. I think we want to do the head up here. And yeah, so you have it, just a super sleeping bag. It's super light. There's definitely not a lot of insulation there. I have taken it hiking, and it was the spring, May, and I froze in this thing. Froze. So it's a summer bag. But if you're new and you're looking for some budget gear, summer is going to be the best time for you to go. Spring and fall can add a lot of challenges that you might not want to deal with your first few times camping. But yeah, definitely go in the summer. There. So next up, I even got, for a bit of comfort, is a little pillow. Pillows. I used to make fun of people with pillows all the time, but they make such a huge difference. Hike-n-Sure. Now this is a newer company that I've seen on Amazon, and so far I've tried this pillow out once before and I liked it. It's very lightweight. I'll have to display the weight down on the screen there, but we're talking ounces. It's got a clicking locking valve. It's got these wicked little like sticky strips so it doesn't slide all around on your sleeping pad, which is nice. And it's got a case that is very soft, so you're not laying on those plasticky, the plastic feel on your face is not a great one. There, my sleep system is set up. Just like that. Oh. It is raining just a bit, nothing crazy right now. I'm not sure if you can hear the droplets hitting the tent, but yeah, we got just settled just in time. You know, this is actually quite nice that I can actually be kind of open and you guys can see me instead of being stuck inside of a tent. So I actually do like that this door works as an awning. It's actually a pretty neat little feature. So if it actually is pouring, I can sit here and make my meal and be completely happy. Now, you definitely want to be careful if you're making food or eating food in your tent. You definitely don't want food all over your tent. That is just a recipe for disaster. Or beer, so... I've been in the rain once with this tent. and it performed well. But tonight it is supposed to pour, so that'll be a great test for this tent. And I will let you know how it turns out. And quality-wise, stitching, fantastic. Zippers work great. Yeah, I like everything about this tent. Well, so far so good, guys. It has been pouring for the last hour, and not a single drop of water in this cheap $100 tent. I am very pleased. Yeah, unfortunately we are trapped here for a little while. I don't have enough service. I have no service, so I can't check the weather. But judging by those clouds that were rolling in, we're in for quite a few hours of rain, which is good. Gives this tent a great test. 2 weeks from now, I'm going on a 2-night hike with my buddy. It's his first hiking trip ever. He's super stoked. So I'm bringing this tent. So at least I know when I'm way, way out there, I'm going to be in a solid shelter. So you can hear that snap. That generally means that the inside of the wood is not too bad. So they call it the snap test. You can hear that, it snaps. Even though it's damp on the outside, it is still fairly dry on the inside. Now something like this, for instance, to hear the difference, right? Too damp. But stuff like that, that snaps, that is great fire starter. Smaller, right? I put my fire starter on my little stove, drop this in, this will go up, no problem, even after pouring rain for an hour. Under this style brush is definitely a great place to look. So there's a lot of cover under these guys, and you can find little twigs underneath, and these guys will go up, no problem. So yeah, if you're ever in a really rainy situation and you're desperate to get a fire started, always look under heavy evergreen bushes. You will definitely be able to find and come up with something. If you can't find any birch bark, which is always the best, wet or dry, look underneath these guys. Thankfully, I don't need any because I brought fire starter. No matter how hardcore of a woodsman you are, I always recommend bringing fire starter because it's just not worth the hassle to forge around and look for stuff that will burn after heavy rain for multiple days. That will get a good fire started. I can just grab some larger sticks at this point. Dead standing trees, always a great source of firewood. Now, I'm not in an established campsite, so there is just wood everywhere. Generally speaking, I always try to find hardwood, because hardwood burns better, it burns cleaner, less sparks. It is so wet out that I am not concerned about any sparks igniting the forest floor. Besides, I bought a fire mat because I'm always super careful. With stuff like this, water will shed off instead of sitting. It's laying flat on the ground like this guy here. Not only is it drawing moisture up from the ground, it's also not running the moisture off. So it stays wetter longer and it just soaks up the water and will not burn worth a crap. Always look for something that's stuck, leaning up in the branches of trees. I mean, if you pay attention, you will find a lot of firewood out there that people will overlook just because it is standing up. Clearly, be careful when you're doing this. You don't want anything falling on your head. And you can see by the sawdust that's actually being thrown by the saw that is dry in the center. If you're sawing away and it feels punky, it doesn't feel right, and what's coming out is dark or discolored, it's probably not great for burning. But we're going to cut this into more manageable size. We're going to get it back to camp, and this will do plenty of firewood for my little stove all night long. And yeah, we won't have to look any further. Just about dinner time, so a couple new inexpensive cool pieces of kit for you, as that is the theme of today. I've got this nifty little cook set I've picked up. So this is Mastiff Gears, and this is a tiny little 700 milliliter pot, so it's actually fairly lightweight, stainless steel. Again, this was $25. As you can see, it comes with a nice little lid that fits perfectly. It's also doubles as a strainer, so you got your drain holes and your vent hole. So that is plenty for any freeze-dried meals, making coffee in the morning. This is perfectly fine. And the beauty thing about this I actually really like, so your small canister fits right inside. My stove that you may have seen me use before is actually a $13 stove from Amazon, and it works great. I've been using it all season. 13 bucks. So far cry from a $200 jet boil system. You've got a $25 pot, a $13 stove. So another thing I really like about this pot, guys, is if you can see this, it does have a top handle and side handles. Now, when you pack this up, the top handles fold over top of the side handles and it locks it all in place so it won't rattle around in your pack, which is actually a really nice feature. You know, I've got $70, $80 titanium pots that just have the side handles, and when you're walking around, they just rattle like crazy. That is a really nifty design for a very inexpensive little pot. And really, weight-wise, it is not crazy heavy. Classic pad thai. This is gonna taste good. that is boiling. Alright guys, it is dinner time. Couldn't have came any sooner. I am hungry. It's nice that the rain has held off. The clouds have moved away, and I think we're in for a pretty decent evening. But I wouldn't be surprised if it started pouring again tonight. But as you can see, I'm having a lovely time, and I have all inexpensive gear. I'm dry. I will be warm tonight. And yeah, I've got creature comforts. I got a little fire pit, something to sit on. Granted, a chair's better, but there are inexpensive stools and chairs that you can find out there. Personally, when I'm hiking, I don't like the bulk of even a light packable chair. You know, weight isn't so much an issue for me as bulk. Oh yeah. This is my favorite camp food. Backpacker's Pantry, pad thai. It is so good, guys. And a lot of calories. What is it? 730 calories per bag. That is a lot of nutrition crammed into fairly small servings. So. Welcome back, guys. The sun is just starting to go down, which means I'm going to be going down soon too. I got the fire put out, the tent's closed up. I'm ready just to crawl into the sleeping bag after I get out of these wet clothes and let nature lull me to sleep. Now, before I do, I wanted to show you my last piece of inexpensive gear that I brought with me today, and that is this nifty solar lantern. So again, right around $25. I've been using these things for years now. I take them with me everywhere. They will last days and days on one charge on medium light settings. So that is pretty impressive. It doubles as a battery bank in an emergency if you need to charge your phone or your GPS transponder for an emergency. Sorry, I'm tired. Yeah, you can charge anything off of it. It's a 4200 milliamp, so not a huge battery, but enough probably to get your phone to 60% if you were at 0. So these are great. I normally carry 2 with me. They clip up and you hang them from your tent and you have a great light source. So as you can see, as funny as it may sound, my favorite feature about this thing is when you turn it on, it immediately goes to the low setting. Now I've got Luminade solar lanterns, exact same design. They are the originals with this style of lantern. You turn it on and it's automatically on the highest setting, and you have to cycle all the way through, which is quite a few. And then the Luminade has an SOS which flashes as well. And I always seem to, you're always cycling fast. I always miss it and have to start over again. So I like the fact that hit it once, you're on low setting, plenty enough light to read by in your tent. I usually, I'll use medium, have 2 set up around camp at night, and that will be plenty of light to do any of your camp chores, anything like that. $25, super great. They last forever. They do solar charge. It is fairly slow. By the end of 7-day hike with Nicole out in Superior, these were dead. So, 16 hours of full sunlight. So you can supplement your charge by hanging on your pack. You might get a little, a couple more hours of light out of a lantern if you leave it on your pack all day. But anyway, $25. Gonna hang this up in case I wake up and have to pee in the middle of the night and need some light. But that is the last piece of kit I have. So really, a full comfortable camp setup, and I'm just around the $300 mark for the pack, sleeping bag, the liner, the pad, the pillow, everything you've seen, minus my knife, was purchased under that mark. So it is quite doable. So don't be discouraged out there. There's a lot of camping gear. You just have to sift through the garbage until you find little treasures like that little pot. Man, I love that little pot. I really do. I'm gonna bring it on my hike in Algonquin in a couple weeks because I like it that much. I'm not even gonna bother with my titanium pot. And I'll probably bring that sog saw too, because honestly speaking, I think it's better than my Silky. Now, I haven't used it enough to really solidify that statement, so I will get back to you on that. But initial impressions, that $22 saw, I think might perform better than my $100 Silky I have at home. It just goes to show you, money doesn't buy everything. This tent, waterproof, lightweight for what it is, $100. It's doable, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna crawl into the sleeping bag, and maybe I'll throw on a movie. I've got a couple on Netflix, like Here Comes the Boom, hilarious. I haven't seen it in a while. Might throw that on, but I won't make it. I will definitely fall asleep. I will bring you guys back tomorrow morning for some coffee and or a scramble to get out of here. Last I checked before I came out, it was supposed to start pouring overnight and into the morning, so it might be raining so hard that I just throw everything wet into the bag and bail. We will see. Morning, guys. I slept great last night. It's been raining on and off all night, so just love the sound of rain on the tent when you're sleeping. It's 7:30. No time for coffee this morning, unfortunately. I've got to get my car into the shop. I set an alarm for 5:30, and I snoozed it and just fell right back asleep. So, nothing wrong with sleeping in. So, yeah, I gotta get moving, get on out of here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Whack the like and subscribe button. Got some more videos coming up for you guys. It'll be a few weeks. Next weekend I'm gone down south to my girlfriend's, and then weekend after that I am hiking Algonquin with my buddy. So yeah, probably another 2.5-3 weeks there'll be another video up, so look out for it.